Hello and welcome to RollPlay R&D week number 4. My name is JP McDaniel, also known on this show as Bleen. I'm joined by the rest of the crew as well as our DM, Steven, and it's been some time since we've actually played, so let's find out what everyone's been up to. Wheat, how goes the being away from home in San Francisco life?
Yeah, you know how it goes. Like, being away from home is never like too fun. You know, I don't have my own computer.
Yeah,
I don't have my own chair. So you know, I'm just glad to. I'm just glad to be here with you guys. You're my friends for the weekend. In my corner.
That's an odd thing to say. It's like,
we put Wheat in timeout.
I don't really have. I don't actually. I do have something great. So I get to go see Neil yesterday for his engagement party, and that was cool. I met a few of his siblings, and they got to give me some Neil insight of younger Neil and some of the things that he's been up to. And of course, I won't share. I'll let him share with you, but it was a good time. So San Francisco's been great. I'm ready to play. Let's do it.
Cool. We're glad to have you here. Jesse, you've been traversing the world of San Diego and Comic-Con. How are you still alive?
Oh my God. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Last night was fun, but the rest of it was a lot of work. I got there. I decided to get there early Thursday, and I would go and try to get, I had a list of things. I don't know where. It's on my phone somewhere. But I had a list of things that I wanted to do, and there was a few things I wanted to throw money at, and I was very excited, and I immediately walked in when it opened, and already everything was, the people who had early access were already in all the lines. And so it was 8 hours to do anything. It was the worst. And so I just immediately gave up. And I was like, I'm gonna go find something else to do, which luckily there's 20,000 things to do there besides the convention, which I think is great. But then I was on my first Comic-Con panel, and I had a blast with that.
Nice.
So
how was that?
Yeah, it was to introduce my new show on Geek and Sundry. Ding! That is an educational show. It's a show about video games and education. So that was kind of fun. And then I spent last night. I figured I'd drive home after it was over. Worst mistake I ever made, because apparently there's construction all the way between San Diego. So I left.
So the 2-hour trip took how long? The usual 2-hour trip took how long?
Oh, I don't remember exactly when I left, but I know I got home at 3 a.m. And I was like, I'm so done.
Shit,
I'm done with the world. They closed the highway down. So it wasn't like you drive home and you have to just wait. It was the highway's closed. Find your way through the back streets of whatever is between San Diego and LA. It was the worst. It was the worst. And I was like, yeah, no, this is the perfect, the slow. I prepared for 3 days by going slow everywhere in San Diego for this. Really, it was all mental preparation. I was like, whatever, I'll get there eventually. And that was because I got used to it at Comic-Con.
There you go.
Because you can never be in a rush at Comic-Con. Yeah.
I've never been to a Comic-Con. Is it as crowded as any other convention, or is it more crowded than all those?
150,000 people. All in one.
You can't move.
150,000 people, all crammed together.
I didn't know it was that. I knew it was big. But
you're like,
it's huge.
You're shoulder to shoulder, and if the crowd wants to go a direction, you are going. There's no way to go a different way. You're going.
You really have to be mean. You have.
How
to be
long until our first Comic-Con death through trampling, or so? How close are we to this?
Here's the thing. For as rude and obnoxious and oblivious as everyone is there, they're also very polite. It's very strange.
Okay.
So everyone's helpful, and all the nerds.
So
love
next
each other.
year.
Yeah. I mean, everyone loves each other, and they're all willing to help each other. But they're also like, is that a giant transformer? And everyone starts taking pictures and ignores the fact that they just were in the middle of walking. People are just like, oh, is that Star Wars? And and then when a celebrity goes by, you might as well stop your life.
So are there a lot of, because I forgot who it was. I think it was Markman from Mad Cats tweeted yesterday that the entire cast of the Avengers just walked in front of me and I was a little starstruck. Does that just happen?
I was at the point by midpoint of day one, I was at the point of not giving any shits at all.
Yeah.
And so I remember walking out of the con, and Kristen Wiig, is that her name? And the girl who was, I can't remember her name. The girl who was, she did the Daily Show, and she has that nasally voice, and she was also the Triceratops in Toy Story. And like her, like this whole group of like really famous women actors walked in, and I walked by and was like, I don't even fucking care. I was like, I'm so done. Just like go do your shit. I don't. But I did end up. It was really strange at the
Kristen Shaw.
Yes, Kristen Shaw. Yeah, I ended up waiting for a friend at the Marriott Residence Inn, I guess, and I was just sitting in the lobby, and apparently they were having a function there where every 5 minutes the entire cast of a TV show would just walk in. And so at one point I'd watch the cast of Arrow walk in.
Nice.
And I watched the cast of Walking Dead walk in. I was like, what the fuck is happening here? It was insane. It was so
You're the best seat in the house, man.
Yeah, it was really Comic-Con's overwhelming, and at the same time you as a person are trying to spend money on stuff because there's a lot of like really cool things to buy there, but they never bring enough for everybody. So everything's exclusive and everyone's fighting everyone for stuff. So you desperately want to throw your money at people and they're like, sorry, we can't take it. It's like, I want to pay you. I will pay you more money than that is worth to get that. And they're like, nope, sorry. Everything's exclusive. Everything's a Comic-Con exclusive. And they make them really cool and then they just don't do anything else the rest of the year.
That's
like, you're assholes. You're bad people. But it whips everyone up into a frenzy and gets everyone outside in the booths. And it's, oh, guys. I don't know if I'm going next year. It's rough. It's a dark place.
I always have the feeling of, like, during Comic-Con weekend, like, on that Sunday, I'm like, man, I should have gone to Comic-Con. And then any other time of the year, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck, I'm never going to Comic-Con ever. Fuck that entire place.
Well, there's, like, last night, we were trying to get back from the panel to go to just up the street to find dinner. First off, we had to walk like 12 blocks outside the city to even find a place that wasn't a 4-hour wait for dinner. But even then, trying to get there, you couldn't because the line for Hall H, which is the big crazy hall, after our panel ended, that's when they did the big panel for
Marvel last night?
It was the one after Marvel, whatever that was.
I don't know.
It might have been where they introduced Superman versus Batman and stuff like that.
That was on Friday.
Was it? All right. Well, I don't know.
Maybe earlier Saturday.
Maybe it was the Fox panel. Whatever the one after Marvel was, because we thought it was Marvel too.
Yeah.
Whatever that one was, the line was so ridiculously long. It went down the street, like up into the city, and they had to block off the road so no one could like line cut. So in order to get around the line, you had to go like 8 blocks in different directions. It was like, this is the worst. Like, you guys need to work this out a bit better. But that's the frenzy that people will wait like a whole day.
I just want to go to like people watch, just to like see the herds just move through Comic-Con.
That's the people watching's the best. The people. There's many levels. There's the people who are really excited just to be there. There's the dads or moms who are like, oh my god. There's the cosplayers who are fantastic.
What was your What was your favorite cosplay you saw? I'm gonna ask Maggie the same thing because I know you were there. But what was your favorite cosplay?
A good friend Holly. She did a femme Rocket Raccoon that was pretty fantastic.
Nice.
I saw a guy who did. And it had to have been a prop. It had to have been like something a company paid for, but it was huge. It was a giant, like, I want to say Tauren, but he definitely wasn't because he was like all mecha'd out. And he had, he was a giant bull and he had a little dude riding on top of him. And his feet moved, but he had like little wheels and he was like street sized. And they were moving him down the street and like you couldn't even get close because everyone was taking photos. But then off in the distance were 2 dudes with, like little radio walkie-talkie majiggers talking, and when they talked, the voices of the 2 characters would move, and so they talked to people as they were going by, and they'd it was like the little kids thought it was like that. I thought it was fantastic. Little kids were losing their minds. They're like, how do you know it was me? And they're just like in the back, and you can see them in the background just cracking up, looking at the kids like, hey, little girl, get out of the way. And the other guy at the top's like, move it, human. All right, and they're just going. It was so good.
That sounds
like,
sweet.
That's fantastic. I don't know what it was for, or if it was just something some guys made, but it was stellar. It was huge.
That sounds amazing.
It was really
cool. Wonder what that could have been for. I'm trying to think through all like the lore of nerdom. I don't know what that was. It might have just been something original.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there who just go there. I spent about 4 hours before the panel I was on at the Fox Sports Bar inside the Hilton, eating nachos and drinking beer. That's how I spent the last part of my con.
Nice.
And I'm like, while I was in there was just a bunch of costume designers and guys who they go there and they get inspiration. Basically, they steal ideas from cosplayers and they put them in movies and stuff. And I was like, all right, well, that's good to know. And they're like, oh, the stuff here is amazing. It's like, shouldn't that be you? Shouldn't you be the amazing one? Costume designer for Hollywood? They're like, what are you going to do? All right.
Apparently all costume designers are from New Jersey.
Hey, yep, that's true.
That's true.
These costumes fabulous. Hey,
It's awesome.
Cool. Let's find out how Maggie's Comic-Con was. Maggie, can you hear us from outer space? Is the signal clear?
I don't know what's going on.
8-bit Maggie, are you there?
I'm there. Can you not hear me?
No, we can't. I'm just trolling you. How was Comic-Con for you?
I actually didn't go to Comic-Con.
You didn't go yesterday?
No, so
you told me you're like, Saturday I'm going. What's happening?
I was going to go Saturday. My costume is complete, my Sailor Mars costume, so I'm going to wear it the next Anime Con that I go to. But after doing San Diego Pride and then the next week we had Block Party, I was just exhausted. I was like done. I wanted, alone time, so I actually just went to the beach.
Well, there you go. How was the beach?
It was the opposite. The beach was lovely, as per usual. So it was nice. It was a nice, relaxing time because when you're around people all the time, it just gets you're drained. I'm one of those people who gets drained. I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't do it. So I was done. I was ready for like a little just me time.
Well, what about? Has it been 2 weeks since we've done a show or 3?
I think it's been too long. It's been too long.
I
kept telling JP, I'm like, let's do a one shot.
Yeah, you kept wanting to do a one shot.
This is the first time I've run a game since Adam started GMing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Have you forgotten everything, Steven?
I don't even know what to do anymore.
Hey, it's all right though. I got your fix the other day on Swan Song when I asked you if I could make a roll instead of Adam. That was really awkward.
I figured today you'll ask me, hey Jeff, how do I?
Yeah. God, I gotta start. I don't know. It's getting kind of crazy with how many shows we've got going on, but. Maggie, anything else the past 3 weeks?
Tons of stuff has happened. It's been a lot. It's been really exciting. Obviously, I just had San Diego Pride, and then as well as we just had our SV Block Party Friday. I can't even talk. Craziness is happening. I've been playing a bit of EverQuest 2, trying to do a live stream with that. So if you guys haven't checked out the game that I work on, you can see it on my live stream. And yeah. Amping up all the things, doing all the stuff.
I was gonna save this question for last and ask everyone, but I'll ask you. What's the best thing that's been in your mouth in the past 2.5 weeks?
Oh, I just had bacon, and it was delicious.
Bacon. All right.
Bacon.
All right.
It's so good.
Bacon
I think that's mostly all I'm thinking about because I just ate it.
I see.
But I mean, besides that, what else have I eaten the past 2 weeks?
We had that. We went to Donovan's. That place is pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, that was
Jesse,
so good.
you've been to Donovan's, haven't you?
I went there with Mr. Noble Total Biscuit. He was like, "Join me at Donovan's," and they're like, "Right this way, Mr. Bane." It was.
Was he wearing his full top hat and everything?
Oh yes.
That's just how I envision him in public all the time. Even though I've hung out with him, I still see the top hat on his head.
Oh yeah.
The full penguin suit on.
I've never seen him actually wearing a top hat.
That used to be he's mature.
That used to be his
That
garb.
used to be his thing.
That used to be his thing back in the Warcraft days. But yeah, he loves steak.
Donovan's is pretty good.
Yeah, no, he loves steak.
That's a good transition. What did you get at Donovan's?
I always eat steak with him whenever I'm with him. It's delicious.
What steak did you have at Donovan's? Do you remember, Jesse? You had the filet when we went, Maggie, but
I had the filet.
It was something that they said. The guy was like, "We only have one left."
You had the prime rib. That's what.
Whatever I had, it was the thing they had one left of, and I was like, "Oh
rib.
My god!"
Was it massive?
That's the one I want. It was very large. Yeah.
Yep, you got that's what I got. I felt like throwing up afterwards because it was too much food.
JP took a picture of it, and it's just like this.
Yeah, there's like a giant baked potato next to it, and it's still dwarfed in size to the amount of prime rib that was on the plate.
They hype it up. I've never been to a restaurant where they hype up one dish more. Where it was like aged in a locker for 48 days. And then massaged by little old Asian ladies. Like, wow, this is the greatest damn... I will have one of those.
It was good.
They sold it to JP, too. He was like, yep, want that.
Yep. It was good. It was good. They got me to cheat on a non-cheat day, so those guys are assholes. Steven, how's it been going in your neck of the woods?
Oh my god, dude. So like Maggie was just saying, you know, she had lots of on time and she needed some alone time. My wife's parents were in town this entire past week, and I love them to death. They're really great. It's not an in-laws problem or anything like that, but like they got here Monday evening, and we went out and did something every night. And then yesterday they were here, so we went out all day yesterday and like did awesome stuff, and it was totally fun. And then today I spent all day building a beer manifold with my buddy Graham, who I do home brewing with. Okay. And as a result, I've been like with people, interacting with people for the entire past week, every day straight. And I'm like, I just need to find like a nice little cave and crawl into it and get really pale.
Nice.
So
I like how getting pale is part of your goals.
Yeah, no. I need like my eyes need to grow really large, get really pale, start wearing a loincloth maybe. I think once those three things have happened, then I can come back out into the sun and start interacting with people again.
There you go.
But I'm really excited to play some Numenera. And I'm super stoked because next weekend I've duped some of my real life friends into playing 5th edition D&D with me. So I'm so excited to do that in real life. That's about it for me. I haven't even had anything terribly interesting in my mouth except for a delicious burrito. Someone in chat. That's the highlight.
The highlight was a burrito.
No, well, we went out to my favorite local restaurant on like Tuesday night or something like that, and that place is so good. I got the beef something. I don't know. I only know what it is in French. Les côtes de bœuf, and it was delicious, falling off the bone. Someone in chat was asking if my hair is natural. If this volume is natural. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, this volume is all natural. In fact, I apply product to bring down the volume. So now you know.
And,
the end.
An anti-volumizer? I didn't even know they made hair products for that, Steven. You're blowing my mind.
I know, right?
What's the alcohol taste like? I'm curious.
The alcohol that I'm drinking?
No, the
brew, the home brew.
Oh, I was like, you put alcohol in your hair? This sounds amazing.
No, I was curious about your home brew.
The most recent.
He's already about to lick Steven's hair.
Is your hair made of alcohol?
No wonder you get drunk so easily, Steven. You just fucking wash your hair all day.
Yeah, in alcohol. No, the most recent one was a brown ale, and we moved to all grain, which is why we're building the manifold. So it's like a big draining mechanism in the bottom of like a Coleman's cooler. So you pour the hot water in there and get it all up to the certain temperature. You pour the grains in, let it steep for like 2 hours or whatever, and then you drain it all off, and that's how you make your wort. And last time we made an all grain brown ale, and I think I had like one of those because it's just been so long. But it was amazing. We've also made a coffee stout. We made an amber ale. We made another brown ale, and I think that might be all that we've made so far.
Just don't do anything douchey like it's a strawberry blonde ale with a hint of lemon. Don't do that. Don't be that guy.
I'll make one like that, and I'll name it the Jesse Cox.
There you go.
Thanks.
Nice.
I'll be like, the Jesse Cox strawberry ale.
There you go.
Yeah. Strawberry blonde ale.
Strawberry blonde ale.
All right.
With a hint of
with
lemon.
a hint of lemon.
Yeah.
You have to say it that way too.
Surely there's some sort of flavor on the beard of that we can
Probably so.
we can talk about.
I'll expect that at the annual roleplay get together, Steven. You're gonna
brew
all the beer.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Also, JP, the Twitterverse has informed me that you still haven't changed my name.
What? It didn't update? God damn it! Hold on. Why is it not updating? Curse you, XSplit. I did all of the changes. I guess I didn't save in the Google Docs or something. I'll look into it here because I did actually change it all before the show. That's why that's why I said something in Skype. But yeah, Steven, why don't you talk about what has been going on, and I'll attend to fixing Maggie's Twitter.
Sounds good.
What's going on?
So here we are in the world of Numenera, set 1 billion years in the future. Do you guys remember what happened last time?
I do.
Jesse Cox, help me out.
I think.
Yeah.
Last time, we had started to head back to town, and we I somehow, after getting our asses beat by rampaging monsters, that we found a platform. I don't remember how or in what way we found a platform.
I think Wheat crit on his like scouting roll, and he saw a glowing golden shimmer on the horizon.
Oh yeah, and
he
then he
you
jumped
that
on
way.
it and flew it
Yes.
around, and
Yeah.
then punched some buttons and somehow managed to control it.
Yeah.
Yep.
We then decided to ride it at its whopping, what was it, like 3 meters an hour?
It's like 3.5 miles an hour.
It's like, pup. And so, while making a lot of noise flying through the air, we were somehow discovered by a roving band of, I guess, slave traders, outlaws, bandits, whoever they were. And they were riding on sort of weird-looking two-legged elephant things. And we were captured, but only in so much that I managed to seduce their leader. And then I then immediately after seducing her, then betrayed her and tried to kill her. Whoops. But we didn't need to because we had an artifact that stopped time and we got the hell out of there. And they're like, curse you! We will definitely be seen again in the future. And then we managed to get back to town. And when we got to town, they were like, who are you? Why are you here? And we just ignored them and walked into town.
That's right.
And then we went to go see the old man whose name slips my mind.
Nicodemus,
thank you. And while we were there, I noticed some stuff that was related to my character, and I purposefully went and almost beat the crap out of him to get the information while everyone else left. And then AAA managed to pick a fight with like some punk kids for no reason.
No,
Spray
not no
paint stuff.
reason.
No reason.
Amelia
not
was,
important. I mean,
she was gonna get she was getting like mugged by these little hooligans, and I came to help save the day.
And then rather than when they were trying to get away and they were like, oh, we're so sorry, we'll come back and get you later, you were like, I'm going to murder you. And then they threatened to beat up Nicodemus, and you were like, now we shall fight some more. And it's like, you just kept pushing them. And then I think that's where we left off. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know what JP was doing.
Well, no,
at the time.
we were on the way. Me and Wheat were on the way to Nicodemus's place, but meanwhile, you and Nicodemus were doing your thing.
Yes. Oh, and JP met his master/friend.
Yeah.
And learned that he is quite bad at being a whatever he is, Cthulhu.
No, we were good. I didn't lose, or I didn't beat him, but it was a close match.
We returned the panels, right?
Yeah, early on. We returned the panels like the first thing we did.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
put
We
them on
were
the table.
gonna look around town and try to like get prepared because we were about to leave.
And
Go
remember,
with Nicodemus.
he lied. I think Jesse lied to them because he was being all like trying to be.
Yeah, no, I was like, yo, by all means, go shop. I'll help him pack. And then while we were helping him pack, I confronted him about the note and learned the origins of what it is and what that theorem that he had was and how that relates to me.
I'm talking about the panels because he was like, oh, these are, like a whole civilization. And we're like, yeah, we totally didn't just murder that whole civilization.
Right. Oh, yeah.
That's what I was
didn't bring it
talking
up at all.
about.
I didn't bring it up at all.
Yeah.
We
And neither
skimmed
will
around that.
Yeah.
Why were
Alright,
we going to Nicodemus's, though?
We were going to tell him about those kids that are going to try to, like,
That's
beat him
right.
up.
That's right.
Yeah. No, we were supposed to be going shopping.
Yeah, I think definitely before we even start, because didn't you mention we all have a lot of experience? We probably should spend that.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm just going to pop up the how to spend experience panel here. Boop.
Oh, and I think I leveled up, but I didn't tell you, Steven.
Sweet.
Because I think I ended up taking thrust. Because remember, we had that. I was like,
I
picked too many things.
You
But
didn't take thrust. You swapped it out for.
I know, but then I leveled up, and then I took thrust.
Oh, so every time you level up, like for each tier, you have to take each of these 4 things or 4 out of these 5 things.
Oh,
but
you can only
can't
take one?
Well, you can't take one twice until you take 4. So like where it says utility, new ability, you cannot then pick utility a second time until you've picked 3 others first.
Oh.
Yep. So like,
So
really
I can't get 2 first tier jack skills right away?
correct.
Okay.
Yep. You can get 1 first tier jack skill, but then you have to train in a skill, increase your effort, or add an edge, or distribute 4 points among your stat pools.
So here's another question. If, like, next to my whatever I choose, it says 1 speed point or 1 intellect point, what does that mean?
That's the cost it takes to activate those things. So like generally, if you choose one that you have an edge in that stat pool, then like it reduces the cost of spending that thing. And so like if you have a might edge, then your might abilities are basically free. But if you choose a speed ability, then that does cost you.
Now, oh, never mind. So skills become trained in a new skill of your choice. Okay, never mind.
Or become specialized in one of your current skills. So yeah, let's talk really quickly about skills. Like, let's see. There's an interesting list back here in the ciphers chapter. Skills. Yeah, so like you could, for example, become trained in like speed defense, might defense, intellect defense, jumping, climbing, running, swimming, sneaking, balancing, perceiving, carrying, escaping. Jesse, since you're very interested in the books that Nicodemus gave you last week, or last session, you might choose training in something like mathematics or philosophy that would help you like understand the books on the artifact that he gave you. Anything along those lines, and really like skills. Like especially as you level up and as things get harder, skills become even more important because they just automatically drop the difficulty of whatever you're trying to do.
Are skills tied to quietly? Are skills tied to your class, or can you just choose any from this list?
Yep.
Okay.
You can choose. You can choose any, and actually, like there is a list in the book, but you don't have to choose a skill that's on that list. You can basically just say, "Hey, Steven, can I get training in underwater basket weaving?" And I'll say, "Yes, of course, JP, you can."
Fantastic. Okay.
Then can you break down the difference between trained and specialized? Is it just drop another level?
Yeah, trained reduces it by 1 difficulty, like reduces the difficulty of underwater basket weaving by 1, whereas specialization in the underwater basket weaving reduces it by 2.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and specialize in Numenera.
Awesome.
For my second tier.
Cool.
And that's 4 XP, right?
Yep.
Goodbye, 4 XP.
Yeah, that's the worst part. I'm trying to think of something that I should take, like make up something for a skill, but everything I'm thinking of.
Let's see what are the other skills.
I mean, I'm looking at the list here, like astronomy, balancing, biology, botany, carrying, climbing, deceiving, escaping, geography, geology, healing, history, identifying, initiative, intimidation. Like, you can pretty much do anything.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, if I could. I want to get, it's a first tier Jack ability. Since I have 9 XP, I want to get 2 things.
Yeah.
First tier Jack ability, vision, to see in the dark, dim light, or something. I just deleted it. Basically, I can see in all things.
Do you have to activate that? Nope, it's passive.
It's just
you
a passive
just get
thing.
it. Cool. Yeah.
And then I want to take my liar ability and bump that. It's right now it's at T. I'd like to bump that to S.
You bet.
Boom.
Sounds good.
There we go. Down 1, right?
Sorry?
Down to 1 XP? Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
You've spent 8.
Delightful.
And you've purchased 2 of the prerequisites to advancing to tier 2. Yeah, Maggie?
I would like to get scan.
Awesome.
And this, do you guys want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You scan an area equal in size to a 10-foot, 1 meter cube, including all objects or creatures within that area. The area must be within short range. Scanning a creature or object always reveals its level, a measure of how powerful, dangerous, or difficult it is. You also learn whatever facts the GM feels are pertinent about the matter and energy in that area. For example, you might learn that the wooden box contains a device of metal or synth. You might learn that the glass cylinder is full of poisonous gas and that its metal stand has an electrical field running through it that connects it to a metal mesh in the floor. You might learn that blah, 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 blah. However, this esoteric doesn't tell you what the information means. Thus, in the first example, you don't know what the metal and synth device does. In the second, you don't know if stepping on the floor causes the cylinder to release the gas, etc. So,
awesome. How many does it cost?
It's 2 intellect points.
Yep. That's super cool.
Steven, let's have a conversation here. Could I take something like Synth's mutation? Like, how valuable would that be in this world? Are there a lot of things that are mutated?
If you're talking about a skill, I mean, like a skill isn't really something like sense mutation.
But it would just be passive, is what it would. I guess
that seems more like an ability, really.
Okay.
Could you use that to figure out which one of your two pupils is actually your real
the real pupil?
Yeah, that might help.
Let me think. You're looking for a way to like detect mutants?
Oh, I guess mutations more so than mutants themselves.
Mutant.
You know, you could probably spend 2 points and gain a short-term or limited use ability that lets you do that. So that would be the kind of thing where it's like you spend a while at Nicodemus's place cobbling together some kind of cipher, and then like for some limited number of uses, it lets you detect mutants or mutations.
Okay, maybe something like that.
Yeah,
I'll have to think about it. I won't take any skills at this point. I'll just think.
yeah, that would not count towards advancing your character to the next tier, but it could be interesting. Now,
I'll try to think of something that's kind of skill related rather than like a usability or something like that.
Yeah. Wheat, did you want to take anything?
Yeah, I took the specialized in Numenera.
Right. Yes. Okay. Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. So did you guys want to do any shopping while you're here? I know that we sort of touched on it briefly last time. Here's an equipment thing.
Amelia and I were on our way to go shopping.
Yeah. And then you decided to come back and try to warn Nicodemus. So let's we'll sort of fast forward through the the shopping portion of it. So you guys can basically buy whatever you think is important and or interesting to you. And then we'll go forwards and talk about like what's been going on over the past couple of days here in Jericho's Ridge.
Did we get a large payout that I don't remember?
I only have 5 shins on my sheet. So like
I have 39.
I have 42.
One of you got a large payout.
Well, didn't Jesse split that with you 3 and I didn't take the money? I remember that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what had happened.
I don't know how much that was now.
I was oh crap. I remember that I stole more money than I gave you guys. I think you each got 40. 40 or 50 was what you each got, because I know that now I have 77 total.
Okay.
And then I gave my share to split between you two because Pocket didn't take it.
Oh, I think it was 35 apiece.
And so
I think that would be right.
17
it was 35
each.
apiece, and then I kept his money, that would explain the 70, because I think I had only 7 before. I don't.
Well, no, Nicodemus gave you extra for some reason is what happened, and you didn't tell us about that.
Because he told us to go get the Amber Monolith thing, which is 20 shins.
We were supposed to go. We were supposed to go buy a animal to ride or a pack animal of some sort.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, and he gave you that cash, and you didn't.
Yeah, and then we found out that it didn't cost a lot of money, so I was like, "Oh yeah, no, here you go.
Yeah,
go get 1, guys."
It's 20 shins for 1.
Right.
Because Nicodemus doesn't really understand the value of money.
Okay.
That's not really his thing. Good.
I need to look at that again.
Amelia, we should think about getting a telescope.
A telescope?
Or binoculars, one or the other. So we can see farther away.
Can we buy such a thing?
It's 50 shin. They're expensive.
As far as I know, Pocket is the only rich one among us.
I have 42 shins.
Unless you want me to just give you 5 shins.
You don't know that I'm the rich one among you. We all have equal amounts according to what you know.
The way that Pocket conducts himself just leads me to believe that he is much richer than he shows us. I can lend you the money.
I mean, do you think it would be useful?
To have binoculars?
Or a telescope. Or both.
I think the binoculars make more sense than the telescope. I love stars, but I think the binoculars would be the way to go.
Yeah. 50 shins. Why does it say binoculars / telescope? Is it one or the other? Is that what it is?
Either one costs 50 shin.
Okay.
Can someone help me? Where's items in the?
Yeah, I'm looking. A lot of
In
these say.
Roll20?
He just
in
put it up on
notes-
Roll20. He just popped up the.
If you hit the
for the
second,
notes, page
Thank you, guys.
82.
second icon, go to equipment.
This only goes up to page 80 or 66.
Let me share you guys the official rulebook. Oh, Dropbox.
Ah, got it. Okay.
Signing in. Numenera. Numenera rulebook. Boop.
Steven, so can you explain to me
It's loading
how
so slowly.
armor works as well? Like, do I have to train into types of armor?
Yeah, I think so. If you're not trained in armor, then it costs might points every hour that you wear it,
Oh,
and it
wow.
also reduces your speed pool, I think.
I see. Okay.
So yeah, actually, purchasing training in armor could be very valuable. Let me see if I can find the specific rules on that really quickly here in the appendix. Armor.
Okay.
How many rations does everyone have?
5.
I have 3.
I have 6 days rations.
You are hoarding, Pocket. All that.
Actually, if I remember correctly, you lost rations because you did a stupid move.
No, I think she just rolled poorly. And
You
lost
mean I
an
rolled
extra
a 1?
Many ones.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That was pretty dumb, rolling those ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, generally glaives and jacks can purchase abilities that reduce the penalties for wearing armor, but I don't think there's anything for nanos. So again, that might be something where like we would work towards it in the story and then also let you buy that as a medium or long-term benefit. But it's not something you could just outright buy as a part of your character advancement.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to buy a compass because I assume that would help me maybe lower the difficulty level
of navigation tasks.
Navigation tasks, exactly.
Yep. I totally buy it.
Okay, I have purchased a compass for 10 shins. So, AAA, if you do need or want money for the binoculars, I can give you 10.
I think it would be useful to have some binoculars. But I also need rations. So
You better pay me. Oh,
actually, can I just like go harvest rations?
Yeah, you could like hunt
Go
for
out
it
and kill
or
things.
gather for it. Use like survival skills to try and find
Yeah, we can hunt.
information. I mean, you hunted
Chopper
that
and I can do
Griffalo,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the binoculars would be really useful for us. Okay.
Yeah.
I owe you. You're gonna toss me 10, so I owe you 10.
okay. I'm going to put the 10 shins, and then I'm going to put 10 AAA.
So of course, because it's been a billion years and the magnetic poles have shifted, magnetic north now actually points towards the South Pole. So you just have to keep that in mind.
All right, I think I know what I want. Not too much here. I'm going to get another pack of cigarettes because I'm almost out. That's 2
Yeah.
shins.
Yeah.
I need. I'm gonna get a bag of heavy tools because I already have a bag of light tools, so I might as well get the heavier ones to use that are actually useful. I think that includes a hammer, 6 spikes, crowbar, large tongs, chisel, 10 feet of light but strong metal cable. And since I already have some metal cable, that's just extra metal cable.
Yep.
And then I want to get 12 more arrows for 5. So that's a total of 19 shin.
Awesome. I mean, my mom always said, never leave home without a trusty metal cable.
You never know. You never know when you'll need it.
Absolutely. Good. So everybody's sifted through the equipment list to their heart's content.
Yeah, I don't buy anything.
Cool.
Because I have 5 shins, and like, what do I fucking need? I have a tentacle on my arm.
Yeah. Right on. Okay, so as you've rested and recovered and purchased equipment, you've also warned Nicodemus about the redheads, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those red-headed hooligans.
He doesn't seem terribly disturbed. He sort of waves his hand, dismisses them, as exactly as red-headed hooligans. He says something like, "Oh, well, I've been here for far longer than they have, and I'm sure that I will continue far after they're gone." But one morning he comes downstairs and he says, "AAA, Amelia, could I bother you to accompany me for a morning stroll through the town?"
But of
No
course.
problem.
He leads you out the door, and you start walking through the streets of Jericho's Ridge. And he says, "Yes, well, it turns out that there is a strange panel device that's thrusting out of the earth in the corner of town, and this is a device that townsfolk can occasionally use to communicate with distant portions of the world. It turns out that the Aeon priests at the Ember Monolith have a coordinating device that matches this one, and we can use it to contact them and inform them of your discovery and seek their aid in furthering scientific knowledge." The device is a little complex, and as you pass, a number of houses, the smells of like frying morning bacon or sausage or eggs are all sort of wafting into the morning air, and the mist is rising over the town, and the sun is coming up, and it's a rather idyllic little setting. And he says, "Yes, the device is complicated, and I find that having those who are trained in the esoteries nearby makes for a more convenient operation of the device, and so I've invited the two of you to join me." And he turns a corner past a low glass house that's built out of what looks like some kind of obsidian or black glass. And there, sort of in a muddy field on the edge of town, sticking out of the ground is just this like panel thing. My cat's falling off the desk over to my left. This flat panel thing, it's got silver filigree all around it. It almost looks like a mirror, except the center part where the mirror would be is just completely flat, matte black. And he gestures to it and he says, "Well, go on. I'm sure the two of you know what to do here. I'm sure that I've only fiddled with it myself, but tell me, is there anything you can do to turn it on or something?"
Can I use my Numenara skills?
Absolutely.
All right. Let's not roll ones, guys. Go ahead, Wheat.
Are you sure Nicodemus knows just what in the hell this thing is or does? He seems maybe a bit apprehensive.
Go on. You two can take care of it.
I agree with
To
you.
do it himself? Nicodemus.
Yes. My lad.
How many times have you used this device?
2, maybe one or two. So many times, hard to keep track between 1 and 2.
And what exactly is it that you want to do with this device?
He sort of hems and haws, and he's clearly stalling. He says, "Well, it's a long range communications transponder, but every time I've tried to use it, it always, well, it's not entirely pleasant. But I'm sure that the two of you, with your superior knowledge of the esoteries of the Numenera, can can help avoid any less pleasant side effects of the device and activate it without any problem.
What kind of side effects?
Side effects? Did someone mention side effects? I don't know what you're talking about. Please, carry on.
Nicodemus, if we help you and assist you with this panel, you must promise to outfit us with the necessary rations and or travel items that we will need when we depart from the city for our next quest. Or AAA, you and I have many things to do. We could certainly just turn around and go back.
Young man,
with our...
I am not a wealthy individual, but as you say, I suppose if it's furthering the knowledge of the Aeon priests and I'm sending you to the Amber Monolith, I can part with some of my Griffalo bacon and help you out. Very well. I acquiesce.
All right.
AAA, shall we?
All right. Can I tell what kind of difficulty this task is?
Looking at it, like there are a number of very obvious sort of like parts of the filigree that are like made to be pressed in or manipulated.
Actually, let me scan this.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me see exactly what kind of information scan tells you. I know you just read it out for us, but I didn't memorize the entire.
So I can scan the area that's equal to about 10 feet 1 meter cube, including all objects or creatures within that. The area must be within short range, which it is.
I'll tell you anything pertinent about the matter or energy. I'll scan you, tell you at the object's level. You might learn that the glass cylinder is full of poisonous glass. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, yep, I can give you some information about this. So go ahead and activate your scan.
All right. Do I need to roll? It's an ability.
No, you don't need to roll for your scan. You just say, I'm spending the cost and
I'm spending the cost of my scan.
It's going to take you 1 intellect point since you have 1 edge. What does it look like when you scan? What do you do?
Let's see. So as I'm looking down at this area where I'm trying to figure out where these panels go, I kind of lift up my visor a little bit, and my eyepiece kind of like comes out a little bit, and it has like a little red dot, and it kind of just like scans back and forth across the little meter, like 1 meter area, and like figures out what's going on.
That's
she can
sick.
also 3D print anything she scans. That's really cool.
Did you always have the ability to like do that with your eye and you just figured it out, or did you like recently upgrade the eye socket like somehow? Or
I recently upgraded the eye socket.
Okay, cool. So you spent a little time tinkering and figured out how to do that. Very neat. Yes. You detect that the object is level 8 as an object, but activating it is not going to be that hard. Really, like the only thing that you do recognize is that there are a series of capacitors around the edge of the object that if you activate it incorrectly, they fire a burst of electricity, potentially damaging anybody who's standing nearby, which may be why Nicodemus is a little apprehensive about doing this himself. Who knows? But yes. That's what you get out of it.
Amelia and I ask if we have anything that will deflect electric current.
Well, one thing might just be the knowledge of which sequence and to activate them so that we do not shock ourselves in the first place. Is there anything that we can see on the panel that would allow us to determine the correct sequence?
Yeah, is there like a puzzle?
Or
maybe instructions.
Go ahead, Amelia, rather, make an intellect check. And you don't have any skills about like puzzle deciphering or,
I do not. I mean, unless Numenera is a skill I can use here.
There's a number of different symbols all around the edge, and you think that they might indicate some sort of important fact, but unless you have some kind of ability with deciphering ancient languages or anything like that, then I think you're just going to have to take a test.
Okay, then can I also spend effort?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so it's 3 to spend effort, right? And with an edge of 1, I spend 2?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to spend effort on this test and roll a d20, 16.
Oh, man. Yeah, totally good.
Nicely done. Good
You
start.
decipher that the number of spokes on the characters that are presented here represent the order that you're supposed to press these buttons in.
Oh.
Not every character has spokes, and not every character has like intact spokes. Some of them are broken. So you restrict yourselves down to only the ones that have spokes and have whole numbers of spokes. But you think that this is going to help you activate it. You still have to actually do the activation, though.
Okay.
But you get an asset for knowing
That's
Okay.
knowing
cool.
that information.
So we have to
Okay.
do them in the order of how many spokes they have?
Yeah.
And can we do this together?
I think one of you has to do it. I don't think it's not the kind of task someone could really help you with. But
Okay.
you know, you're giving AAA the information, or you know, you've deciphered the information and you're going to try it yourself.
Well, AAA, should I
Yeah, you.
Should I go for it?
You be the guest. You're the one who figured out the puzzle.
Shoo,
Okay.
carry on.
I wish
I like the
to
theory.
attempt to activate it then in the proper sequence,
All right.
according to the spokes.
Please
Sorry, should I roll?
intellect check.
Okay. 14.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Sweet.
So you start activating, pressing these little segments, and you feel a hum of power underneath your hands and a tingle of energy as it races underneath your fingers, but it doesn't discharge into you. It goes through the machine, and the black panel in the middle turns completely clear, and Nicodemus steps up and he says, "Ah, wonderful, yes, excellent, thank you." He steps forwards and he starts like playing his fingers over the outside edge. He says, "Now that it's activated, it's really quite safe. Thank you for
I
taking the
lean to
risk."
AAA and I immediately say, just like keep a close eye on him, just in case. Just keep an
All
eye.
right.
Yeah.
So I point my laser at him. No, I'm just kidding. No, I definitely.
It's just like a triangle of laser sights that are, you know, sort
No,
of
I
hovering
like.
on his back.
I put my eye thing back in, and it kind of like goes back in. I close down my visor, and I just keep my eye on him, watching which buttons he's hitting, seeing if I can decipher what he's trying to do with
Yeah.
the panels.
Just kind of take
Oh.
a step behind him.
Are you trying to like watch and see if you can
Yes.
figure it out? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you watch fairly closely and you start getting a feeling for what he's doing. It seems like he's starting to set sort of frequencies and amplitudes of communication, sort of wavelengths. And after a little while, a voice comes over this device. The entire panel sort of vibrates and projects sound, and it says, "Hello? Who is this? Can I help you?" And Nicodemus says, "Ah, yes. Hello. Could I? Is Shim nearby? Can you bring Shim to the device?" And the person on the other side says, "Yes, of course." And he walks away. You hear footsteps. Nicodemus looks around. He says, "It will only be one moment. I wanted to make sure that I can acquire an escort for you to escort you to the Amber Monolith. It will be much safer." And
Shim?
Shim is one of the Aeon priests at the Amber Monolith. One of my good friends who's been working with me on the Ether Lattice Manipulator problem for years. Really, he's quite an expert in it, and other sort of mind-expanding Numenera. Yes, that's the proper way of putting it. And then another voice comes on and says, "Hello." Yes, Shim, hello. I have people here, a group of adventurers, including 2 expert nanos, who are very interested in visiting the Amber Monolith with some of their most recent discoveries. Yes, they've made insights into the Ether Lattice Manipulators. And Shim says, "My God, insights into the Ether Lattice Manipulators, what do you mean?" And they start talking, back and forth about the discovery that you've made. And it's really quite kind of long and boring. Both of them are very long-winded, and you're sort of standing there. The sun rises overhead by the time the conversation has ended. Now, you sit there for a while, Amelia, and it starts seeming like some of this guy's conversation patterns are for some reason familiar to you. Can you give me an intellect roll?
Yes.
1. He's not that familiar.
Can I spend more effort on something like this?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm gonna do that again. I'll go down to 11. Intellect roll 6.
You don't know why, and you don't know where. Maybe it could be something about the tone of his voice and the excitement that he's speaking with. Maybe it just reminded you of someone you've met in the past. But there's just something strangely, there's something you can't quite put your finger on with Shim. And so Nicodemus hangs up, pushes a bunch of buttons on the side of the piece after Shim has agreed to come and visit Jericho's Ridge and bring an escort with him to escort you to the Amber Monolith, to specifically to bring the information that you've discovered into the fold of the Aeon Priests, and so that it can be studied properly. And they talk about the proper vetting process and how it could take up to 7 years in order to go through the new information and reconcile it with the past information. You're starting to get the sense that the Aeon Priests are very, very much focused on the theoretical rather than the practical. And he turns to you and he says, "Well, I'm starving. What's for lunch? Shall we go back and see what Jesse, Pocket, and Ebleen have been up to this morning?"
How'd I get in this world? What?
What's going on? Let's do that.
Sounds wonderful.
And JP, you said you thought it would be about time for a break, yeah?
Yeah, we can take a break right now if you're ready.
So let's do that, and when we come back, we'll find out what's been going on.
Cool. All right, we'll take our first break. We got 3 hours left of the show. We'll see you guys right after this quick 3-minute break. See you guys then.